Hey there, Deb here. It's a lovely day today. Beautiful sunshiny day. Um, Probably going to get up to about 95 or 100. Of course, we got the typical Kansas wind. It'll blow your hairstyles all over the place. Lots of fun. So today, I'm going to address this video more to the ladies because it's really kind of about a strength thing. Back in 2014, I bought a house out in the country, and it was heavily wooded. I had a couple trees that had fallen over on a fence, and I needed a chainsaw to cut up the wood. Well, I happened to have a friend who came over and helped me. Of course, he started it. We cut up the wood, and then a couple weeks later, I got the chainsaw out again and went to start it and could not start it. It was a pole, really hard pole, and I never was able to start that chainsaw. And I'm a pretty strong person, even though I'm a tiny person. Lifted hay bales, had horses, 50-pound bags of grain. I could never get that pole to start that chainsaw. So that was a one-time use chainsaw. I gave it away to a friend. So then I thought, well, what am I going to do? I need something that I can use, that I don't have to have someone come over and help me, because that really irritates me. And I came across this lovely chainsaw. It's electric. This is the Sunjoe. It's a 14-inch blade. I believe it's 9 amps, 9 volts, something like that. So it works really good. Probably due for 6-inch limbs, which is, about all I really need to do, trimming up trees. So this was probably one of the best deals I ever bought. It cost me about $56 through Amazon. It's something I can use. All women could use if you're single, or maybe you just like to do things around the house and don't want to have to wait for your husband to come home to do it. And great deal. Works like charm. I've used it tons and tons of times. Obviously there's some key safety issues with chainsaws because you can cut off fingers. I had a friend who fell out of a tree with a chainsaw and nearly cut his arm off. So we really don't want to do that. So the first thing you do is you never have it turned on while you're climbing or moving around. You always want to be in a stationary position before you press the power button. The best way to plug in your power cords on equipment that you're moving around, this comes with a little safety cap, is you take your extension cord and you kind of tie it like you're going to tie it in a knot. And it looks like this. Let's see where you can see. So that way, as you're moving around, you don't pull your cord loose and you're in the middle of sawing off a limb and it stops because your plug came loose. So this is one thing that will help you with that. So first thing, safety. Don't move around with the power while you've got the power button depressed. Second, goggles. There is sawdust, there are chunks of wood, there are limbs that are breaking off. Sometimes they break off sooner than you think they're going to. You definitely want to wear goggles when you're working with a chainsaw. You also, if you're going to get up in a tree with a ladder, you need to make sure that your ladder is extremely stationary on the ground, because that is not the time to fall off of a ladder when you've got a chainsaw going. Now granted, most of these have safety features on them, so the minute if you were to fall and your thumb comes off, the chainsaw stops. But if you have a vice grip on it and it's still going while you're falling, it's not a good thing. So you have to be extremely cautious because you can lose digits. So we've got it plugged in. I'll give you a little rev up here. Okay, so let's get started. So you always want to wear your goggles. Safety first. I'm on a ladder just because I'm short. This tree is probably this tree limb is probably about 6 feet off the ground. And it goes almost straight out. So I'm going to cut it down. I feel like Paul Bunyan. Woo! So as you can see by the size of my dog, Cooper, who is a Great Dane, it was a pretty good sized tree branch. About 4 inches around. Probably about 20 feet long. So it's a damn good little chainsaw. Oh, damn it all to hell. I cut all these branches up, cut them up into smaller pieces. It's cutting up this last stupid damn dead branch and my chain slipped. So I guess we're gonna have a video in a video. I'm gonna show you girls and guys how to put that slip chain back on the chainsaw. Alright, so here we are. The chain slipped off. So we've got to take it off to put it back on. Take the whole side off and the blade off. First and foremost, with an electrical, you're going to always unplug it. You never work on the chainsaw with it plugged in. Safety first. Alright, this is a really good tool to have around the house. You can buy it at Home Depot for, I think I paid about 15 bucks for it. It's a ratchet set. Great for breaking bolts. Definitely need one. We're going to need one for this one. So the one I'm going to use is a 1/2 inch socket. And you put it on here like this. And then we've got this bolt here. So we're going to take this on here. And you're going to break it. Alright, it's loose enough now. I can hand do it. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put it someplace safe so I don't lose it because I'm good about that. So this whole side came off. And my blade came off. So that's a good time to clean it out. You got a lot of debris in here, so we'll clean that off a bit. Okay, so I just wiped it off with a little paper towel. Get some of the loose debris out of there. You also use oil. There's a little compartment for your oil. So what it does is it shoots oil onto the blade as you're cutting. So I'm just going to wipe that blade off too. And then my chain. It's kind of all torqued up here. So you just got to kind of unloosen it. And then there is, I don't know if you can see it right here. There's a little picture and it shows you the direction of how the chain's supposed to go on. And then there's a little groove all the way around this blade. So I'm just going to put the other side into that. I'm going to work the little points down into that groove. Got to kind of hold it on there, both sides. And then you'll have some extra down at this end. And that's going to go around a wheel that's on the base of the chainsaw. So I'm going to lay that down for a second because there's one step I have to do before we can put it on. There's this little bolt here and it goes in and out. And this is going to go through one of the holes on the chainsaw blade. But if I leave it there, it's going to be too far in to catch it. So on the end of this little bolt, or slide bolt, there's a place for a Phillips screwdriver. So I'm going to loosen that so that that little silver piece moves back to the rear a little farther. So I'm just going to keep turning it counterclockwise, and that little silver piece is going to move back. I'm not going to take it completely out. You can see it's moved back. So I'm going to push it back as far as it will go. And what that does is that sets the tension on the blade. So I'm going to put my little pieces back in there. And there's this bar here, and then there's these two holes. So that bar goes over the big bolt. So I'm going to do this so you can see what I'm doing. And then here's that wheel I was telling you about where that extra goes. So you're going to fit that around there. And again, like I said, this is kind of a juggling act. It'd be nice if you had 3 hands. So I've got it stretched on there. And I've got it through that pin there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this shield back on before I screw that tension screw back on tight. And I'm just going to hand tighten this for the moment. So now I'm going to set the saw up. You still got to hold this chain in. I'm going to take that screwdriver again and put it back down in that tension screw slot. And now you're going to turn it clockwise, because what that's doing is it's tightening the chain around that wheel, and so your chain won't fall off. Sorry, my nose is running. Cutting trees and my allergies are going crazy. So I'm sniffing. Okay, so it's tighter, but I'm still kind of holding it on there. Not a lot of space here, so it's kind of a pain. You don't want to tighten it completely tight, because then the chain's not going to move. But the chain is sliding now. So we've got the chain back on. The last thing we wanted to do before we're back to business is we wanted to tighten that screw or that bolt on the side panel. This we do want to make sure that it's tight. Make sure it's nice and tight, because we don't want that flying off and your chain flying off while you're cutting. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today for the chainsaw video. I hope you got some good information out of it. We'll put down in the comment section below the link to where I purchased it and the specifics on the Sunjoe 14-inch chainsaw. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And by all means, subscribe to my channel, share the video with your friends, and leave me a comment. I love comments. I will return your comment. So thank you again for joining me today. Have a great day.